Okay, right. Now, so in the last class we have seen operators and control statements also we have started. So recollect what is the control statement. Control statement means controlling the flow of execution. By default the program will execute top to bottom, and I want to control the program execution flow. To control the program execution flow, what is required is control statement is required. Means I want to sometimes jump forward, sometimes jump backward, sometimes I want to execute the code repeatedly. So these are all nothing but what? Manipulation of the execution flow. Instead of sequential top to bottom execution, I want to manipulate it, I want to control it, I want to change it. So this kind of activities can be done by control statements. We have two types of control statements. What are they? Conditional and looping. Conditional control statements are if and switch case. Looping control statements are while, do while and for. We have completed all the forms of if and switch case. Now we are going to see the remaining three, that is while, do while, for. We are going to see now. So first keep the heading while. First one, while. Right. What is the purpose of while? While is used to execute the code repeatedly. We have some lines of code. Listen carefully. We have some lines of code. I want to execute the code repeatedly. Sir, give me some example of the while loop in real time. Sir, just we have a classroom. The classroom itself is an example of while loop. Daily are you coming to the class or not? Daily. You will keep the condition every day. At 2 o'clock you have a condition. What is the condition? Today do we have the class? Condition true means he will come to the class. Otherwise he will not come to the class. That is what? While loop. Today class is present or not? Class is available or not? Today class is available means we have to start and come here. Today class is not available means you will not come here. Yesterday have you come to the class? Why? You have checked the condition yesterday also. But yesterday a condition was false, that's why you have not attended the class. Like that, whenever the condition is true, I want to execute the code. Again condition is true, again I want to execute the code. Again condition is true, again I want to execute the code. As long as the condition is true, the particular code should be keep on repeatedly executing. This is nothing but what looping. But here the nature of the looping is, at least one time the condition become false, automatically the complete loop will be terminated. There is no try later, try again, this kind of cases not applicable. Once the condition become false, completely the loop will be terminated or stopped forever. Understand? There is no try again kind of options here. So this is the nature of the loopings. So write it. It is used to execute the code repeatedly while the condition is true. It checks the condition, execute the code. Again it repeats the same process as long as the condition is true. Once the condition is false, okay, once the condition is false, it stops repetition of the loop. It terminates the loop. Terminate means stopping. Once the condition is false, it stops the loop or terminates the loop. Once the condition is false, it will stop the loop or terminate the loop. Okay, now, so how this while loop will execute, let us try to understand. Now listen. Just for the if condition, for the while also, what is required mainly, a condition is required. For if and while, what is required mainly? Condition is required. Condition. If the condition is true, you will execute the code. Condition false, you will not execute the code. If also do the same, then what is the difference between if and while? In case of if, only one time condition will be checked. In case of while, as long as the condition is true, repeatedly the condition will be checked. Condition checking, execution of the code happens repeatedly in case of while, but happens only one time in the if. That is the difference between if and while. Only once the code should be executed when the condition is true means go for if. You want to execute the code repeatedly again, then what to do? While loop. So, you will just give while the condition. You are providing a condition. In the middle, some statements can be there. So, how this will execute? Let us try to understand. How this will execute? First, here we will have entry point. First, listen, don't write. First, we will have a entry point, loop entry. Loop entry point there. Okay, loop beginning point. And this is what? Loop exit. Loop exit. Loop will terminate there. What is the flow of execution? First, we will start with which one? Loop entry. What is the beginning point for us? Loop entry. Loop entry. With the loop entry, what we will do? First, we will go for the condition. Condition may be true, may be false, nobody knows. Even God also don't know whether the condition is true or false. It depends on situation. What is the condition we have written and what is the value of the particular variable? It depends on many factors. Okay, we cannot say exactly, but what happens when the condition is true, we know clearly. What happens when the condition is false also, we know clearly. So, in case if the condition is condition true, assume that. Then what happens? All these statements will execute. What are the statements present in this middle? In between the opening and closing braces, n number of statements we have written, all those statements will execute once, only once. All the statements will execute only one time. Next, after completion of these statements, what happens? It will not go to a loop exit. It will not go to loop exit. Then what's going on? Once again, what happens? Condition will be checked. Once again, assume the loop condition is true. Again, the statements will execute one time. Condition true means the statements will execute one time. Again, it will go back to condition. Again, check the condition. Again, if it is true, again execute the statements. Again, go back to condition. So, overall, what process repeating? Condition, statements, condition, statements, condition, statements, hundreds of times, thousand, countless. But at least one time condition become false. The moment once it become condition false, automatically, without showing any mercy, just it will go to which one? Exit. Just go to exit. That's it. It will never look back. It will never try again. Nothing. No other options available. Try again later after 1 minute. Nothing like that. Just once the condition become false, stop the loop forever. Continue the next statement. What are the next statement after the loop? That statements will proceed. The loop is over. The story of the loop is over once the condition become false. So this is what we call it as looping. Condition true, execute the statements. Condition true, again execute the statements. Like this, keep on repeatedly checking the condition. If it is true, execute the statements. This process keep on repeating. But once the condition become false, what happens, tell me? It will terminate the program or terminate the loop? Terminate the loop only, loop only. The rest of the remaining program will execute. After the loop, whatever the remaining statements are there, all those will execute, no problem. Only the loop will be terminated, that's all. Okay, that's all. This is all about the while loop. Write this. Write this process. Okay, done. All of you written this. Overwrite. Check it. If anything pending, just complete it. Okay, right. Just check it. Now check the program. Now listen, just I am going to create a new program. Save it. You have to save it to which location? C:, JavaScript. C:, JavaScript is the location. How to create this C:, JavaScript? We have to create a new folder. Go to C drive. We have to create a new folder. What is the name of the folder? JavaScript is the name of the folder. Okay, now selecting C:, JavaScript. Now we are trying to select the file. What is the file? While.html. File extension.html we have to provide. File name can be anything. Here I am just giving heading H1 or H2 or H3. Something I am giving just for understanding purpose only. It doesn't make any meaning. So without heading also we can write. So don't confuse about that. Somebody is asking. Sometimes we are writing H1, sometimes we are writing H2. When should we write H1? When should we write H2? I don't know. Anything we can write. So now listen. So in the script, I am just writing console.log of hello. Now, how to see the output? Tell me. Go to the folder. Which folder? While.html is saved in which location? Which folder? C:, JavaScript. Check the location. C:, JavaScript. So go to C:, JavaScript. Double click on the file while.html. Now you can see while. Okay, that's all. Now, how to see the browser console? Tell me. Right click, inspect element or F12. Keyboard shortcut F12 or right click, inspect element. Now listen. So go to console. Here, console. In the console, we are seeing hello. Okay, that's all. In case if you want to avoid this message, the character encoding format of HTML document was not declared. If you want to clear that particular message, avoid that particular message, what we have to do? Meta charset equal to UTF-8 means, hey browser, we are using the character set called Unicode transformation format 8-bit. 8 for 8-bit. Now that error is clear. So even though error is there, not a problem. We can just ignore it. It's not a restriction. So now actual point is, we have something like where I equal to 1. And I want to execute the code 10 times. How many times I want to execute the code? 10 times. I equal to 1, once the code will execute. I equal to 2, again the code will execute. Like this, repeated. Up to how many numbers? 10 times. So while I less than or equal to 10. So console.log of hello. So now how many times hello message you will get? 10 times you will get, 10 times. But we got only one time hello. See, it is showing 2 many times. So we forgot to increment, right? It become infinite loop because we have not incremented the value. Compulsory we have to increment. I plus plus. What is the meaning of I plus plus? Increment. I equal to 1, hello. Again I value should become 2, right? I value should become 2. Again hello. Again I value should become 3. So the process keep on repeating. So that's why you have to keep on saying now open the console. Now we can see hello, it is printing 10 times. It is saying what? 10. Hello, it is printing how many times here? 10 times it is printing. 10 times. Now I want to print the number. Instead of hello message, I want to print which one? Number. Then what to do? Console.log of I. Now what you can do? 1 to how many numbers we got? 10 numbers we got. Clear or not? So just we are getting anything, hello message or numbers, anything we can print whatever you wish. That's all. So it will check the condition. In simple words to tell, it will check the condition, execute the code. Again check the condition, execute the code. Again check the condition, execute the code. This process repeat. How many times? 10 times. Why? Because we have given the maximum value 10. Suppose now we are giving I equal to 0. Now what happens? How many times we will get? 11 times. Even though we have given 10, okay, how many times it will execute? 11 times. The reason I value 0, 1 time. I value 1, 2 times. I value 2, 3 times. Like that, I value 10 up to 11 times it will get. So that's why don't believe this number. Believe the condition. Stick to the point of condition true or false. As long as the condition is true, it will repeat. Condition once it become false, it will stop. That's all. Okay, this is about the while loop for us. Okay, next point. So next write it, do while. Do while. It is also same as while loop to execute the code repeatedly as long as the condition is true. So just like while loop, we also have do while loop. It is mostly similar to while loop. Do while loop mostly similar to while loop. Okay, do while loop mostly same as while loop. Then what is the difference between while and do while? Okay, only one small change, only one small difference. First time guarantee the do while loop will execute. What is the main difference? First time it is guaranteed that the do while loop executes. Second time onwards it depends on condition. Nobody is giving guarantee. First time, at least one time the do while loop will execute, but in case of while loop there is no guarantee in case of first time also. Not understand. So listen. While loop will check the condition for first time also. Do while loop will not check the condition for the first time. Second time onwards both are checking the condition. Not understand. Second time onwards, second time, third time, fourth time, till ending, all the time, second time onwards till ending, both are checking the condition. There is no difference. Only the difference in the first execution. First execution of these statements, at the time of first execution of these statements, do while loop will check the condition or will not check the condition? Do while loop, first time, will not check the condition. Do while loop will not check the condition for the first time. Second time onwards, same as while loop, there is no difference. But in case of while loop, first time also will check the condition. That's why in case of do while loop, there is a guarantee that your statements will execute at least once. So whenever you have requirement to execute the code at least one time, at least guarantee one time, then what to do? We have to go for which one? Do while loop. First time also it should be depends on condition, means go for which one? While loop. I want to execute my code at least once, at least one time. Then what to do? Do while loop. First time also should depends on condition, means go for while loop. This is the conclusion that we can provide. So what is the process? We are going to write like do. Some statements can be written. And now we are going to talk about loop exit, loop entry first, at last loop exit. Loop entry, loop exit. Now what's going on? Here at last, at the closing brace, we have to provide the while. We have to provide the while in which place? Closing brace, not in the opening brace, closing brace. So here we have to provide while. In the while loop, where we have to keep the condition at the opening brace or closing brace? Closing brace. Sorry, opening brace. While loop, in case of while loop, we have to keep the condition at the opening brace. In case of do while loop, we have to keep the condition at the closing brace. That is the difference. Now, so at the loop entry, at the time of entry, any security guard is there here? Here security guard means what I mean? Condition. Condition itself is security guard here. So there is no security guard. You are carrying a bomb, you are a terrorist. You will simply enter into the building or not? Easy. You will enter into Mythronum, you will just install some bomb in the 505 classroom. Okay. So near this, there's okay. Easy. So what will you do? You will just keep from something. Just like that, at the loop entry, directly it will come to statements. There is no any condition here. Understand the process? There is no condition. Directly it will execute the statements. All the statements, what are the statements present in this area? All these statements, imagine hundreds of statements, all those statements will execute one time guarantee. After completion of the statements, then we have to think about it. Do we have to continue second time onwards? We have to think. It depends on which one condition. Condition we are checking. Condition we are checking. Condition may be true, may be false always, of course. In case if the condition is true, what should be happen? Condition true. Again, repeat the statements. Understand? All these statements will execute. All this part will repeat. Okay. Condition false. What happens now? Directly loop exit. Condition true means this way. Condition false means this way. That's all. This is in case of true and this is in case of false. So listen, don't write. If you write, you cannot understand. First listen. So at the time of entry, okay, at the time of entry, is it checking the condition? At the time of entry, no checking the condition. Directly execute the statements. What are the statements present in the braces, in between the opening and closing braces? N number of statements may present. All those will execute at least one time. At least one time. After execution of first time, then it is checking the condition. Condition true means repeat second time. Condition false means stop it forever. So, suppose, assume that this condition is false for the first time. First time we are checking the condition, assume the condition is false for the first time. First time we are checking the condition false for the first time. Then how many times the statements will execute in case of while? How many times the statements will execute in case of do while? I will repeat the question once again. Assume we have given some condition in the while, do while. While loop is there, do while loop is there. Condition is false in both cases. While loop condition false, do while loop condition also false. Okay, assume while loop condition is false, do while loop condition false, even for the first time also. At that time, how many times the while loop statements will execute? How many times the do while loop statements will execute? While loop execute the statements 0 times. It will not execute. It will not execute at least one time. While loop will not execute the statements at least one time. Why? Condition false, right? The while loop is shouting that the condition is false. How can I execute the statements? First time also will not execute. But in case of do while, the statements minimum one time will execute, because at the time of first time execution, the do while loop is not checking the condition for the first time. Second time onwards, same as while loop. Second time it will not repeat, that's all. So this is about the while and the do while. Okay. That's all right, this. Okay, completed. Okay, done. Okay, now listen. So just can we convert the same program? Can we convert the same program into do while loop? Now listen, just copy this same program. I am just converting into do while.html. Okay, now listen. Simple. Just I am cutting this one, pasting here. Semicolon must be there, because with this part the do while loop is over. With this part do while loop is over, right? So we have to keep the semicolon at the end here. Now check it. How many times you will get the number? 10 times. That is 0 to 9. 0 to 9 you will get. So check the console, pressing F12. So now we can see which one? 0 to 9 we got. 0 to 9. I value 0 to 9. How many times the loop has been executed? 10 times the loop has been executed. That's all. Next one. For loop. For loop. So what is the main difference between while loop and for loop? In case of while loop and do while loop also, we are writing the variable declaration and initialization in one place, condition in another place, understanding, condition in another place, and incrementation in another place. How many places we are writing? Check it. Three different places. What are they? This is for initialization of the value. This is for condition of the, incrementation of the value. And this is for condition of the value. Incrementation, initialization, condition are written in three different places. But if the code increases, it will make you some confused. See, for example, I am writing a lot of code. Imagine a lot of code here. So initialization somewhere, understanding, initialization somewhere, observe carefully. Imagine a lot of code in the middle. Initialization somewhere, if you scroll down a lot, you can see incrementation, then you can see condition. In three different places, we can see the loop related starting value, ending value. It will be difficult to understand. If the code increases, what happens? It will be difficult to understand. That's why I want to write the initialization, condition, incrementation, everything in a single line. Then what to do? We have to go for which one? For loop. For loop main goal is to make you to write all the loop related things in a single line. In a single line you would like to write initialization, semicolon, condition, semicolon, incrementation. All these three in single line, 3 in 1. But that is the main advantage of for loop. If you write what is the advantage, easy to understand. Just by looking at it, easily you can understand. Clear? So let's just write it. It is also same as while, but we will write the loop related statements initialization, condition and incrementation in a single line so that it will be easy to understand. It will be easy to understand. Okay, initialization, condition and incrementation in a single line so that it will be easy to understand. Okay, clear? Now listen. Okay, now just take it. What could be the syntax? Let us try to understand. Listen. So just a syntax is going to be for. What is the keyword we have to use? For keyword we have to use. Just like while keyword we have, do keyword we have. Just like that, for is a keyword. For is a keyword. Then we have to provide three options. Three statements we have to provide. How many? Three statements. What are they? Tell me. First initialization we have to mention. Initialization. Okay. Semicolon, not colon, not a comma. Semicolon we have to use. Semicolon. Then condition. Then incrementation. We cannot change the order. It's a syntax. Just we have to follow. Now in this middle we can write any statements whatever you like. That's all. Now listen, observe carefully. Now only actual understanding will start. Listen carefully. Here loop entry. Here loop exit. Okay, now loop entry, loop exit. In this case, loop entry is there. Loop entry, now listen. At the time of loop entry, which will execute first? Initialization, condition or incrementation or statements? First initialization, starting. Suppose initialization means, here we are saying I equal to 0. In this case also I equal to 0. That is what? Initialization, starting value. Starting value is nothing but initialization. Okay, starting value done. Okay, fine. I value 0 over. I value 0, assume that. I value 0. Next and after that, it will go to which place? Condition. After initialization, go to condition. Okay, condition may be true or false. Always this condition may be true or false. Assume the condition is true. At that time, go to statements. Go to statements. All these statements will execute whatever present there. Assume hundreds of lines of statements are there. All those statements will execute. Okay, all the statements over. And then after that, what happens? After completion of this, go to incrementation. Go to incrementation. Means here in this case, I plus plus is what? Incrementation. Condition is I less than 10. Okay, incrementation is I plus plus. So incrementation done. Okay, fine. After incrementation, what happens? Go to condition. Go to condition. Understanding? Again, condition may be true or false. Assume the condition is true. Then the statements will execute. Again the condition. Again the condition. Condition may be true. Again the statement. So notice carefully. I am drawing a blue line, right? This one. This blue line will be keep on repeating. That blue line is nothing but loop, repeat, n number of times. First time initialization condition, second time onwards incrementation condition. Can you understand? Can you remember like this? First time, very first time, initialization plus condition. Second time onwards, incrementation plus condition. If the condition is true, execute the statements also. But once the condition becomes false, it will automatically stop. Go to directly loop exit. No incrementation, nothing. Directly go to loop exit. So observe carefully. So first time loop entry, initialization, observe, condition, statements. Again go to incrementation, then condition, then statements. Again go to incrementation, condition, again the statements. It will keep on repeating. Initialization happening only one time. Second time onwards, what is repeating? Incrementation, condition, statements only repeating. Okay, but once the condition becomes false, everything will be stopped. The complete loop, I mean in incrementation, condition, everything will be stopped. Directly simply go to loop exit. Loop exit doesn't mean the program will stop. It will just go to outside the loop. That's all. Write this. Okay, done, check it. Clear, right? Now listen. So now we are going to see one example, for loop, for.html. Now listen, same thing we can easily convert into for loop. If you know while loop, easily we can convert into for loop. Simple. Instead of while, what we have to use? For. Just cut this one, paste here, over. Next, cut this one, paste here. Semicolon not required. That's all, over. Program over. Simple, man. If you know while loop, easily we can understand for loop. Listen. This is called as initialization. This is called as conditional. This is called as first time which will execute, tell me. First time 3. First time what 3 in initialization, then condition, then statements. Second time onwards, what happens? Incrementation, condition, statements. Only first time, okay, initialization, condition, statements. Second time onwards, incrementation, condition, then statements. But at any point of time, even first time or second time, any time, once the condition become false, the loop will simply terminate. Terminating means what? This part will be skipped. What is the meaning of termination? This part will be completely skipped. Leave it. Completely will be skipped. Then simply go to next statement. What are the statement present in that place? That statement will continue. From the statement, it will keep on continue the further next. Okay? Loop exit means loop only will exit. Program will not exit. Rest of the program will continue. Okay, that's all. So, what is the output of this program? Anybody guess? 0 to 9 you will get. So, output has no difference. If you run the while loop program also, do while loop program also, for loop also same. So, even execution speed also no change. For loop is not faster or while loop is not faster. Nothing is faster, nothing is slower. All are execution speed wise same. Only the difference is, in case of for loop, we are writing which one? All these three in a single line. See, just a small question for you. Suppose you are preparing some notes about JavaScript. I am providing introduction to JavaScript. First, JavaScript is a programming language. Assume you have written this sentence in the first book. In our first notebook, you have written this statement, JavaScript is a programming language. Okay, leave it. Second statement is what? JavaScript is used to create functionality in the web page. This sentence we have written in the second book, page number 50. Next, what is the third statement? JavaScript is developed by Netscape Corporation. This third statement we have written in the book number 3 in the page number 120. Next time, when you want to read the JavaScript, what will you do? Of course, you will never read, just an explanation wise. Assume that you are reading in a dream or something. At the time, what's happening? How many books we have to open? Confusion or not? So that's why, if you write all these three in a single line, it will be easy to understand. That's the only reason why we are going for which one? For loop. But one more point, this for loop is suitable only when you know exact starting value and ending value. Sometimes in some critical situations, you may don't know how many times you want to execute. You are not sure. Either 5 times or 10 times or 100 times, you don't know really. At that time, for loop not suitable. At that time, go to while loop. Such kind of scenario is what we have to use. While loop. Whenever you don't know how many times you want to execute exactly, then we have to go for which one? While loop. How many times you want to execute, if you know exactly clearly, then only go for which one? For loop. That's all. So next and after that, so with this control statements chapter is completed. Let's move to next chapter like functions. Okay, functions. Now listen, what is function and why we have to go for function? Function means predefined set of instructions. A predefined set of instructions is called as one function. For example, at the 2 p.m. at 2 o'clock, you will get ready for coming here. You will come here from different place, maybe far away or maybe nearby, whatever. You will just start. Okay, you will go through the road. Okay, and you will come to the Maitrona building, and you will take the lift or steps. You will come to the classroom. You will listen, and after completion of this, you just leave. So it's a program. It's a set of instructions are there. It's a programmatic step-by-step process is there. This step-by-step process is called as a function. All this function is all about which one? How to attend a class. How to attend the JavaScript class at the 2:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. That's all. Some step-by-step process is there. This is nothing but a basic meaning of function. Function means no need of confusion. A step-by-step process is nothing but what? Function. But in our real life, so many functions exist or not? Is it mean that only this is the one and only function in your life? Attending only the JavaScript lesson? After completion of this, you will involve in other function. Again, after completion of that, again you will involve in other function. So, n number of functions you will daily perform in your life. No need of taking the whole life also. In a single day also, you will perform so many functions from the day beginning to day ending. Understand? So, just like that, in the program execution sequence also, first you want to complete one function. That means some process. After completion of that, then you want to switch to another process. That is another function. Like in the same way, so on. Whenever we have reached to end of the statements, all the functions are over. That means that is end of the program. That's all. Write it. What is function? Technically, function is a collection of statements to perform some specific operation or work. Function is a set of statements to perform specific operation or work. Okay, done. So now, a function will look like this. Just a function. What is the keyword we have to provide? Function is a keyword. Just like where is a keyword, do is a keyword, if is a keyword, else is a keyword, for switch, case, all these are keywords, predefined keywords. Just like that, here function, F-U-N-C-T-I-O-N, function itself is keyword here. So here function is a keyword. Generally function is a collection of statements. But this particular function is what? Keyword. Now listen. Function name we have to provide. Function name can be anything. We can give any function name. We will give some ABC, XYZ. Generally, it is required to give the meaningful names. Meaningful name. Instead of ABC kind of names, just give some meaningful name. What work you want to do, that work name you have to provide. Suppose you are writing a function for calculation of area of circle. So give a name like calculate area. What is the suitable name? Calculate area, because that function is meant for which purpose? Calculation of the area of circle. Understand? Next, you are writing one more function to add the numbers. So addition or add is a suitable name for that function. Like that, depending on the purpose, it is suggestible to give a meaningful name instead of ABC kind of names. But really we can give any function name technically. Technically no restriction, but space not allowed. Function name doesn't allow the space, cannot be same as the keywords, and cannot contain special characters, but underscore dollar is allowed. Underscore is allowed, dollar also allowed, but other than that, maybe a percentage symbol, plus symbol, hyphens, this type of symbols not allowed in the function name. And the function name must be started with alphabet only. So of course, same rules applicable for variable also. No need of remembering function names and function rules and variable rules. Same rules applicable for variables and function names also. I already told some rules about variables. Variable must be started with alphabet, can contain digits, can contain underscore and the dollars, okay, cannot contain spaces. Same rules applicable for which one? Function names. And function can receive input values. Input values. We can accept some input values. The input values are nothing but what? Arguments. Arguments. What is the meaning of arguments? The input values. To receive the input values, to receive the arguments, we require to create some variables, right? The variables are nothing but what? Parameters. Arguments means input values. Parameters means variables to receive arguments. So parameter 1, parameter 2, parameter 3, n number of parameters we can keep on writing, n number of parameters. What is the meaning of parameter? Some input values that we are accepting. I want to add the numbers. Give me addition of numbers, tell me. What is the result? Add the numbers and give me. The question is wrong or not? Add the numbers means what numbers will you add? I should tell or not? So that's what the meaning of parameters. First I am telling some numbers or not? First suppose 10 or 5. 10 and 5. Two numbers I am giving. 10 you will catch into one variable. 5 into you will catch into other variable. So those variables are nothing but what? Parameters. Input values I am giving, no, 10 and 5. That is nothing but arguments. You will catch and receive. Will catch, that is nothing but parameters. So how many parameters you can create for one function? Any number of. And at the same time, parameters optional. Without parameters also we can create a function. With parameters also we can create a function. Next, and after that, here some statements can be there. Any number of statements, that's all. And after completion of this function, can the function give any result value? Suppose we have performed addition process. After addition process, can you give me some result value? For example, 10 and 5 are the input values that I have given. Those are called arguments. Arguments you have received 10 into variable A, 5 into variable B. All of you able to understand? I am giving 10 and 5. 10. 10 you will store into variable A, 5 into variable B. The A and B are the parameters you have received. Then add them. A plus B, add them. What is the value? Some people are seeing the question mark. 10 plus 5 means what? Don't know? 10 plus 5. 10 means what? How do you write a 10 now? Don't know. Okay, 10 plus 5 is nothing but 15. 15 is there. 15 you will give result value or not? The result value is nothing but return value. Return is nothing but what? Result value. After doing some calculation or process, whatever the result is you are getting back as a result or output, the result is nothing but what? Return value. So, you can write return some value we can provide. So, after all these statements, whatever the outcome is there, whatever the result of the process is there, the result is nothing but what? Return value. But remember always, this parameters optional. Return value also always optional. That's all. Write this. Okay, clear? Fine. So now listen, just let me show one example on this. Topic name, functions. Presently no output because we have not written any code there particularly, so no output in the console. Now listen. Just presently right now, in which country we are living? Anybody know? India, sure? Okay. But somebody don't know, he is saying. He is asking what is the current working country name he is asking. We have to tell or not. So, function, country. What is the country he is asking? We have to tell him. This is India. Or just you can say India. That's all. Over. That's a simple example of function. Parameters optional is said. Written also optional. If any input values are there, then only parameters are required. If any result is there, some calculation is there, some addition, subtraction, something like that, then only some outcome will come, some result, then only return is required. Presently no calculation we are doing, so no need of any return. Okay, fine. That's all. Now if we execute this program, what is the output you will get? India. How many times? By default 5 times you will get. 5 times. Only one time. Only one time you will get which one? India. Now what we are getting? India. What is the output here? India I can say. Right? Not printed by? Huh? Why it is not printed? Is it saying that already you know that country name is India, so that's why I will not print? Function is there, we have not called it. Function is there, you have not called it. You purchased a bike, you have not started it, no use. Understand? There is a function means we have to call it. Then only there will be some use, there will be some benefit, there will be some output from that. Function is created. Function creation success, no issues, no errors. But we have to execute it means compulsory we have to call it. So here, above or below actually, above or below, maybe here or here, above or below, we can call it country. This function name should be same as this one. With what name we have created the function, same name we have to provide here. What is the name above we have declared, same exact name we have to provide below. If you are giving a different name, it will not come. Somebody is giving C small like this. Will the output come? No. Why? Case sensitive. JavaScript is 100%. Case sensitive. Exact function name we have to provide here. Understand? Now listen. So just refresh. Now we can see which one. Country is not defined. Country is not defined. Why? Country C caps we have declared. But we are calling which one? Country C small. That is not found. That's why compulsory we have to provide the exact case. So C capital. Now what it is printing? India. How many times? Only one time. Because we have called it only one time. But can we purchase the bike today? Can we start it tomorrow? You will purchase a mobile today. Can we switch on it tomorrow? Possible or not possible? Every day are you purchasing a new mobile? If you have that much richer, I don't have any problem. You can every day purchase new mobile phone. But generally, what happens? You will purchase a mobile phone one time. You will use many times or not? Create once, use many times or not? Reusability. Reusability. Create one time, call many times is what? Reusability. We are creating the function one time, but calling many times. Any number of times. How many times we have created the function? Tell me. Only one time. Only one time. But how many times we have called it? A number of times. Just for example, it is 5 times, but it can be any number of times. So every time what's going on? Every time every time when we call the function, it will go to the function definition, execute all the statements whatever present, and continue to next statement. Understand the process? First, directly function execution will not be started. Starting point here. This is starting point. This one is starting point. Starting point here. From here, what's going on? Okay, it is going to function definition. Execution of all the statements, whatever present here. Then go to next statement. Can you tell me what happens in the second statement? Same process. Once again, go to the function definition. Execute all the statements. Then go to third statement. Can you tell me what's going on in third statement? Go to function definition, execute all the statements, then go to next statement, that is fourth statement. Like this, every time, every single time when you call the function, go to function definition. Definition means the code, function declaration is available, right? It will execute all the code and continue with the next statement automatically. So that's why, as we have written 5 times here, we can see like India 5 times. It is printing India 5 times. You can see number 5. That means it has printed how many times? 5 times. Okay, that's fine. Next one after that, assume somebody asking, presently I am living in which city? He don't know city name. He is asking, which city presently I am living in? So function city. Anybody know the city name presently? Hyderabad, right? Right. Now, how many times you will get India? How many times you will get Hyderabad? Tell me. India how many times? 5 times. Hyderabad how many times? 0 times. We are getting India 5 times. India 5 times we got. But we don't get Hyderabad. Why? We have not called it. Compulsory. Always and always remember. Function, it's not like top to bottom. This one is present first, this one is next. That's why first this will execute, then this will execute automatically. Never think like that. Functions means top to bottom approach never be followed. Understand now? Functions means top to bottom approach never be followed. Always and always it follow when it is called. That's the only question about functions. Top to bottom approach not applicable for functions. When it is called, if it is called at that time only it will execute. If you call no time, it will not execute. If you call 100 times it executes. It depends on how do you call, not how do you create. Understand? Now listen. We have not yet called the city function. That's why it will not execute at least one time. Now listen. We are calling city here. City here. Now, can you tell me output? First line output, tell me. First, India. How many times you will get India? 1 time. Next, second line, Hyderabad. How many times Hyderabad? 1 time. Next, India. How many times India? Here it will show 2 with rounded circle. Next, how many times? Only 1 time. Only 1 time. Next, how many times? That's all. This is the output. That's how, because I will prove it. Listen. So for the first one country, we are getting this one. 1 time we have called, 1 time we got India. Leave it. City, we will get which one? Hyderabad. Is it clear or not? City means Hyderabad. Next, country, India. Again, country, India. So how many times India will get? 2 times. That's why you can see 2. Actually, it has to show separately, but it will just round like 2. Next, city. For city, what you will get? Hyderabad you will get. Only 1 time. India. Again India. Then I will get which one? 2. 2 times. 2 times we are getting or not? So this is the output. Finally, India, Hyderabad, India 2 times, Hyderabad 1 time, India 2 times. This is the output. All of you able to understand? Check it carefully. Okay, if two continuously more than one time, if you are printing the same message, the number will come automatically. Okay, more than once the same message printing means the number will come automatically. Grouping will come automatically. Now listen, just same process with that. India only one time, Hyderabad only one time, but India this one how many times? Two times. Next Hyderabad only one time. Hyderabad only one time, no message here. India how many times? Two times, that's all. So this is how the program will execute. Okay, just write this program just to understand.